Los Nopales, that means cactus. We make cactus tacos. We make the skirt steak with nopales. So we'll grill the cactus, put it right on the steak. You know, in the morning I used to get up at 7 or 6 and go shop every day and get everything fresh. My wife takes care of all the front. We were planning not to open a restaurant. We chose this neighborhood because we can live on above, so we can watch the kids. I have my son, which is only 4. When he goes to school, he's like, oh, my daddy, he's a very good cook. He makes me a good sandwich. And I stay in the kitchen, and that's what I like. And that's what I love to give for my customers, to make them happy.
You're telling us that Los Nopales elevates traditional Mexican cuisine. Tell us why you chose it.
I chose Los Nopales because it is very sort of traditional Mexican food that you would imagine you'd find in most neighborhoods in Chicago. But this definitely takes it to another level. I think the first time I went there, the salsas they put on the table with the sort of chips and salsa that are standard at every Mexican restaurant gave me the first inkling that I was in for something a little better than your average neighborhood joint. And really smooth and creamy. One was really spicy and complex, and another one was a little more subtle. Just really delicious. I've ordered everything from steaks to seafood in this restaurant, and I've never been disappointed.
Now, is it safe to say it's a family-run establishment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I hope so. I've had many ages of people sort of waiting on the table.
I think, Marquisha, you ran into said young gentleman.
Well, through my experience, the moment I called in to make reservations to the restaurant, the young son answered the phone and said, "Hello?" And I immediately said, "Is this a restaurant?" And he said, "Mommy." And so I guess the owner of the restaurant answered the phone, and she said, "Hi, this is a restaurant." And immediately the son came back on, and he said, "Go away." So immediately I'm thinking, where am I going? I'm going to this restaurant. Is it a real restaurant, or is it like out of someone's like home?
Right.
So anyway, I got there, and like you said, the salsas were a little different. Obviously, they weren't my type of salsa. Okay. But throughout the meal, I did find that the guacamole was very good. For my entree, I had the enchiladas. So the enchiladas, they were spectacular. But I cannot get away from the service.
We had a similar experience. I'll tell you about the food. I thought the guacamole was fresh and chopped. I thought it was fantastic, and the mole. We had chicken mole, and we had the queso fundido, and loved all the food. I thought for Mexican food, even though it's standard Mexican food, it was very well done. The service left a lot to be desired. We got there. I don't want to go into big detail, but we sat for half an hour. They obviously forgot that we were sitting at the table, or they were confused, or whatever they were. So I got up, and I said to the lady behind the bar, "How about a waitress?" Oh my God, we got waitresses coming out of our ears all of a sudden, because they knew they had screwed up. And then the busboy came and spilled everything on my wife's lap. Other than that, the food was fantastic. It really wasn't.
In all my experiences there, I go there quite often, and I've never felt rushed, and I've never felt like it was so over the top. But I definitely, I've seen kids, or kind of there.
But you think
as
it
part
does
of
it
the
add
family.
to the atmosphere? I mean, some
To
people
me,
really
it
like
kind
that.
of adds. I like that feeling.
Marquisha, describe the restaurant to us.
Well, when you walk in, it typically has Mexican decor all around. It was a lot going on. It's okay. Would I go back? No.
I feel like that's one of the things I really love about it, is that you do just kind of feel like you're in this family's kitchen, And maybe I haven't had the same experience with service, but you know, maybe sometimes it's
a bad
not.
night.
It's not up to the par of like, you know, a fine dining restaurant or something. Like it's definitely more casual.
Lisa, have you ever tried any of the dishes, the restaurant's namesake, the Los Nopales, I guess the cactus?
I have. You know, there's a special. It's the Los Nopales special, and it's a flank steak, and then it's got a nopales salad and these frijoles barachos, which, you know, to me are just the best thing that has ever happened in my
Drunk
life.
beans.
Now-
Yeah, they're drunken beans.
Now the steak,
Yeah.
that plank steak, my guest had the plank steak.
Yeah.
I must admit, it was one of the most flavorful plank steaks I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Lisa, what do you typically bring to when you dine at Los Nopales?
Usually I bring beer, like Negro Modelo or a Tecate. I don't get too complicated with like mixed drinks and things like that at BYOs typically.
I've been really digging albarino with Mexican food lately. You know, because I find that a lot of like Latin food has, you know, lime juice in it. You know, whether you're
Yeah.
talking about ceviche or
Yeah.
salsa or anything. And I just find like albarino is nice and high in acid. It's nice and punchy, and it's really nice with like, you know, fish or salsa
Yeah.
or guacamole, just to complement a lot of lime juice flavor.
But I've never, in a very inexpensive restaurant like that, been charged a corkage fee. And I was there.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised about that.
All right, Lisa, Los Nopales was your selection. Give us a summary.
It's a great family-run, casual BYO restaurant that I think really elevates your standard Mexican fare to a new level.
All right, Marquisha?
I think that overall the location does no justice for the taste of the food. However, the service doesn't complement the ambiance at all. It wasn't at all up to my likings.
All right, Stewart.
I thought the food was really very, very good. A step above your average Mexican restaurant.
Well, you can sample the guacamole and more at Los Nopales, 4544 Northwestern Avenue. Open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner. Alcoholic beverages are BYOB. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person is $16.